2019 to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Vice President Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Richard,
Present.
Solicitor Lovato.
Here.
I think everybody perhaps received the minutes a couple of hours ago.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve the September 9th,
So moved.
2019 workshop meeting minutes?
So moved.
Dave, do you have an agenda?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Old business. We have existing commissioner chairs, some of whom are no longer here. And because we are going to be appointing another commissioner to fill Commissioner Duplaga's seat, my feeling is it's best to wait until we know who that is. So we'll just keep everything the way it is for the time being. It's not hurting anything unless,
Agreed.
I agree.
and again, we're not bound to anything, so take a look. Think about the ones that you would be most interested in, and I think that can be accommodated.
Okay.
All right, the Glen Mitchell Road drainage request. Gwen?
So I heard back from the residence engineer, and the email that I received is in your packet. And it's basically, it's not technically a plan, it's just two suggestions of what to do to alleviate the water problem. The first one suggestion was putting an asphalt curb holding water in to be cut and removed for approximately 10 feet in area above Smith property into small ravine. And the second suggestion would be regrade the old roadway entrance to the right, diverting water away from the roadway. The first suggestion involves Glen Mitchell Road, which is a county road, so we would not act on that ourselves. We would try to coordinate with the county to get them to help with that. The second solution involves a private property. So again, the township's role, I think, would be to help maybe facilitate the property owners having a conversation and seeing if that is a solution that the property owners could come to an agreement on. So that's as far as we are right now. We got these suggested improvements, but
Does the property owner aware that some plans are going on, or they're thinking about something, or?
the property owner across the street, not yet,
Okay.
no.
The property owner, for the record, is Joyce Smith. And she sent an email, and we recently received an email from her engineer. And Gwen, the complication is private-public.
Yes. County-owned road and private drive and property across the street from this resident, from Joyce.
So as I think you all know, we have to be very careful not to spend your money on private property. But we try to help when we can, even if it's accommodating a communication with somebody else. Is that pretty much correct, Chris?
Yes. And certainly if we receive additional information, then we'll consider it when we receive it.
Mhm.
And I'll be happy to reach out to the county again with these proposed ideas and see if they will get back to me about the Glen Mitchell part of it.
And then I think you all heard a complaint from a resident about an Airbnb that was operating. So Gwen, could you update us on that?
Yes, there was, we heard the complaint, and the last meeting that I attended, we talked about sending just kind of a friendly notice to the property owner before sending a violation notice. And the property owner was not aware of the ordinance or the law that had changed regarding this. And so she sent me a letter back saying she would cease listing it on the Airbnb sites as of September 30th.
So the good thing is, once she was aware of the law, she changed.
Moving on.
Did we notify the manor?
I don't know if I formally did, but I will let them know.
Somebody pass it along, but we'll formally notify them. Website update.
So the website, we got some feedback at some prior meetings about, some people feeling that there might be a couple topics that didn't rise to the level of an emergency in requiring the pop-up box on the website, but some things that might be helpful for the community to know, just if they had a question, they could just go to the website. So we changed the, buttons on the homepage of the website, and we shifted, there was a calendar button over here, so there are 12 buttons across the side. I didn't ask Dave to pull it up, but maybe if he can hear me, he can pull it up. Okay, and so we had a calendar button down here, we dropped the calendar down into the bottom bar of the website, and we added a button called Latest News. So it's right in the top left corner of the buttons, and it will, and when we click on it,
That's not ours.
nope.
Not the authority.
Try that one. That'll get you to the calendar. And then just go up to the top and just click on the logo. Okay, so these buttons here we have here. And the calendar button that's at the very bottom used to be in one of these 12, but we demoted calendar and we added latest news, which is in the upper left corner of all the 12 buttons, the main buttons there. So could you click on that? This is where we'll have information that may be of interest to the community, but isn't an emergency that won't be in the pop-up box. So right now, we have the meeting location change, announcing that next week's meeting will be held at Masonic, so next week's meeting will be held at Masonic. And the commissioner vacancy notification. This is where I would put something about the raccoon baiting next year if we get a notice that talks about that. This notice will go here. And then just a list of some upcoming events. And so this is going to be a more dynamic page on the website that as I get information that would be of interest to the community, I'll put it on this page. So it's, check in. Sometimes you'll check in and say, hey, nothing's new. But if there is something of interest, this is where it'll be. And then in the case of an actual emergency or like a big thing, there will still be that pop-up box that covers up the front page saying, here's the emergency, go here for information, or here's the box. So.
Could you bring that front page up for me? Yeah. I would suggest that when you have a change in latest news, that you highlight that, somebody or underline it, box it, because you have an awful lot of tombstones there. And people wouldn't know to look for that unless they've been there before perhaps, but for a newbie, they may read right over that.
I will contact our web designer and see what they suggest about that.
I mean, keep it simple, but just make it differentiated.
Sometimes those buttons are dated, the last edit. So maybe if someone,
maybe that.
sometimes that's an easy add-on for that.
Yeah.
And Dave, could you click on meetings? The meetings button right below it, latest news. This is where the agenda is published. The minutes are published after they're approved. So they're like the minutes that they just voted on are not here because they just voted on them, so they're not official until they vote on them. Then they go up here. And we also store the digest here, which is the email that goes out to everyone, letting you know what happened and with the video cuts of all the different, click here if you don't want to watch the whole thing. So that gets stored and linked here also. So anything that happened in the past at a meeting, you'll find the agenda, the minutes, and if there was a digest, at times there'll be no digest, it just didn't get produced in time, or the video didn't work and there won't be a digest. But all the information about what has happened is here on this meetings page. And I do my best to get the agenda up the Friday before a meeting. Sometimes it comes up in the morning, but it's usually up the Friday evening before a meeting.
I think we're operating shorthanded right now because we don't have a secretary. And Gwen updated me on that. We're close. We have some good candidates.
Oh, good.
All right, new business. As you all heard, last meeting, Commissioner Duplaga resigned. She had to due to a job. She will be on the ballot, so she will probably win. And then she'll have to decline that victory. So the question that we're going to be discussing over the next 30 days is whether to appoint somebody in 31 days then have to appoint them again after the first of the year. We're not quite sure. But the first step is if there are any interested parties, we'll accept letters of interest and resumes for 30 days. And then we'll discuss those at the next workshop meeting in November.
Can send the letters to the township, and I'll make sure that the commissioners get them.
And we have one expression of interest already, our emergency management coordinator, Judy Haluka. And I think we all know how valuable she can be. But I saw her the other day and said, 30 days for people to put in their interest, and then we'll discuss it, and then we'll decide. And we may decide to appoint, as Solicitor Lovato and Stone have told us, there are complications as to how this process works, whether if we appoint them, then they have to run again, like Commissioner Richard has to run as a write-in on next month's election. So we're trying to make the timing as efficient as possible. So spread the word. Okay, then we have a standard, we need to do this because of timing, Gwen?
Correct.
So do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution as written on the winter maintenance?
Oh. Go ahead.
Just as is.
Go-
So
mo-
moved.
Motion to adopt the resolution entering into PennDOT winter maintenance agreement for 2019 to 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion?
This,
Gwen, you'd
no
like to
changes.
explain it a little bit?
Sure. This is,
No changes whatsoever, this is a renewal.
it's a renewal,
Point blank.
but we get the distances and the mileage and the chart, it's at the very back of it. This is a renewal, we've been in this, I can't even tell you how long we've been in this agreement, but this is, the state pays us to do winter maintenance, which is salting and plowing on the state-owned roads in the township, which are, make sure I'm accurate, Redgate Road, Ferry Road, portion of Killbuck Street to the Ohio River Boulevard, we cover that. Portion of Killbuck Street, Deer Run Road, and a portion of Merriman Road. Merriman Road all the way out to Glen Mitchell, and then Duff Road, which is over on the other side of 79. So the state pays us to plow and salt those roads within the boundaries, and some are outside the boundaries, but it's part of our contract.
All right.
And Public Works has reviewed this and believes that it's fair compensation. In other words, we're not losing money, we're not making money. It's fair. Some years you make a little probably, some years you lose a little probably, right?
It's what they give us.
What they get.
So,
All right, any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, then an announcement. As I think you all know, once a year we hold a meeting at Masonic Village, and once a year we hold it at the Fire Hall. So we're scheduled to have the legislative meeting this month, next Monday, at Masonic. And then the Fire Hall meeting is,
one of the meetings in November, we're aiming for the workshop, but I still have to confirm that date with them for their building.
so then there'll be a meeting at the Fire Hall sometime in November.
And I have one other piece of business.
Sure.
Just want to have you guys affirm Halloween trick-or-treat date. It's optional, but we've always, as long as I've been here, done it on actual Halloween, October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. So is that what you guys think is okay?
When do they give out the most candy?
October 31st from 6 to 8
Okay, I'll
p.m.
kill
Do we
them.
need a motion? Do we need a motion?
You can just declare that as president or
Yeah.
vice president.
Declare.
Declare it.
So declared.
Sweet, thank you.
Nice job.
Very important.
Any other new business? Citizen participation. And again, please come to the podium and announce yourself. Ah. All right, well, I guess that's it. So, meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming. Yeah, they took my gavel.